So what I've understand based on the topic. So the science of environment studies was said a multidisciplinary science. Why? Because it comprises different various of branches of studies, so such as chemistry, physics, medical science, life science, agriculture, public health, sanitary, engineering, and etc. So we will define what is environmental science. So it is the study of living organisms and how they interact with our environment. So environment explained and can be defined as a sum total of all the living and non-living elements and their effects that influence human life. So this environment explained, it consists of three questions. So first, what is surrounded? So it means that it is all the living objects in our planet who are surrounded with so like circumstances, conditions, or objects by which one is surrounded. So number two, by what is surrounded. So it means the physical attributes, which is the environment. So for example, in a man, so mostly, or we can say that the concern of education is the environmental of man, right? So hence environments, the sum of total of conditions which surround points of time and space. So next question, which is the number three, we're surrounded. So it talks about the physical component of nature, like our planet or earth, land, air, and what or everything that is in our nature. So which gives life to the living objects in the planet. So environment, it is anything that surrounds us. It can be living or non-living things, include physical, chemical, and etc. So in the environment, there are different interactions between animals, plants, water, and other living and non-living things. So it means that environment is the physical components of the earth. And human are the important factors which affecting the environment. So environment literally means surrounding everything that affect an organisms during its lifetime is collectively known as environment. So there are also another personalities who give their opinions or definitions about environment. So according to Boring, a person's environment consists of the sum total of the stimulation which he received from his conception until his death. So that's according to Boring. That is his definition about environment. So it means that it can be concluded in the definition that environment comprises various types of forces such as economic, political, social, intellectual, cultural, social, moral, and emotional. So environment is the sum of total of all the external forces. So also influences and conditions. So it affects the life of every living organisms in our earth, the nature, the behavior, growth, and everything that related to the living and non-living organisms in our planet. So number two, according to Douglas and Holland, the term environment is used to describe in the aggregate all the external forces, influence, and conditions which affect the life, nature, behavior, and the growth, development, and majority of living organisms. According to him, which life, nature, behavior, and the growth affected by the forces, influences, and conditions of environment is what we call environment. That's for Douglas and Holland definitions. So we have here the scope of environment. So the environment consists of four segments. So first is atmosphere. So this atmosphere, the protective blanket of gases. So we know what is atmosphere. It was located on the above, which is it sustains life on the earth. Everything, living or non-living things in our earth, because of atmosphere. So the atmosphere, it composed of mga nitrogen, oxygen, which is uh, the one who needed for the living things in our earth to survive. So number 2, hydrosphere. So what is hydrosphere? So hydrosphere comprises all types of water resources, such as mga oceans, seas, lakes, rivers, streams, reservoirs, polar ice caps, glaciers, and groundwater. So that is mga normal lang na nature, which is wala siya gibuhat sa tao. So those hydrosphere is the one also needs for the living things in our earth to survive. And then this really helps, and hydrosphere is really helpful and really useful everything who lives in this planet. So number 3, lithosphere. Example of this lithosphere is those minerals, mga air and water, and organic matter. So this biosphere is those who are having a life in our, which means bio is life. So those people, those humans, are one of the examples of biosphere. So we have also elements of environment. One is physical elements. So what is physical element? From the word physical, you can makita ra siya, or we can see it clearly directly. So biological elements. These biological elements is those mga living organisms or microorganisms, which is they are constitute our biosphere. So cultural elements for number 3. So these cultural elements is those man-made creatures or man-made features of the human. What is the importance of environmental science? So environment belongs to all the living beings, such as very important to all. So each and everybody, whatever occupation he or she may have affected by environmental issues like global warming or loss of global diversity. So this environment study also deals with important issues